Yo guys, how's it going? It is Welsh Rugby here, and this is the Welsh Rugby Show, where we review the action from the Pro 14 with the 4 Welsh regions. So make sure to subscribe, comment your thoughts down below, and like that video. Let's get into it. It's the Cardiff Blues up first. So we have to start with the Cardiff Blues. What a performance to beat Munster at the Cardiff Arms Park on Friday night. Cardiff started the game on the front foot, getting a try through Nick Williams, but let's mention Halahola. What an incredible start he had to the game to create this try. Getting past 2-3 Munster defenders and getting tackled just short of the try line, but Nick Williams was there to power over to give Cardiff Blues the lead. But Munster came back into the game, first try, turnover ball halfway, and Conway gets it and scores in the corner. Not much they could have done about that. But in the second try Munster got to take the lead, it was a bit of a frustrating try to concede. Carberry gets a high kick, receives it, then beats the defenders of Cardiff, who are kind of in transition from going to defence, from attack to defence. And it's a lazy defending from Cardiff. And he runs through, and the ball eventually comes out to Conway, who scores in the corner. But the Cardiff Blues managed to reply through Thomas Williams. A great try, but again, Halahola showing his amazing footwork. Receives the ball from Anscombe halfway, sidesteps 2 players. Poor defending, yes, from Munster, but it's 2 against 1. And Williams runs in for the Blues' second try of the evening. It is now half time. The second half starts like the first half finished, the Cardiff Blues on the front foot. Halahola gets the ball by this line, by the Blues managing to turn the ball over in the Munster 22, and then Anscombe, who closes in on Rory Scannell, he then is drawn in by Anscombe's run, and it gives space for Halahola, who deservedly scores in the corner. And then finally, the Cardiff Blues wrap the game up. Thomas Williams gets his second. Great work by the forwards in the build-up in the 22. And Thomas Williams goes over from 5 yards. A great game for the Cardiff Blues, who last week struggled, but this week were fantastic against Munster. Not such a good result this weekend is the Scarlets, who lost away to Connacht 33-20 in Galway. Very, very unfortunate game for them. Connacht definitely deserved to win the match. They played really well, I thought, but the Scarlets struggled, and we'll get into that in a second. Connacht got off the mark early when Bundyaki scored within 5 minutes. I really like this player. I think he's extremely talented, and there's a lot of debate about whether he should be allowed to play for Ireland since he's originally from New Zealand. We can't talk, of course, because we've got Hadley Parks. But what do you guys think about that, about players who have lived maybe in the country for 3 years representing that nation? Let me know in the comments below, or vote in the poll above what you think. Let me know, guys. But we did get 2 pence, halfpenny got 2 pence for the Scarlets. And Scarlets did get themselves back into the game. Some tries coming in, and Tom Pridey getting on the score sheet. But at the end of the day, Connacht got themselves back into the game, managed to win the game. The Scarlets were pretty poor, let's be honest, having very little possession, missed so many tackles, and were wiped out at the breakdown, to be honest. It was like the Scarlets were pretty tired this week after last week's fantastic results against Benetton Treviso. But we're going to talk about the Dragons. We're going to focus on the Dragons for this episode mostly. And they managed to win 16-5 over Zebra at home. Doesn't sound like the best match. And let me be honest, it wasn't. But the Dragons really needed this win. Bernard Jackman admitted prior to the game that they needed the win. And we're going to hear from him in a little bit about his reaction to this match. But the Dragons got the first try with a beautifully weighted pass from Ollie Griffiths, which then found the fly half to run through and score. He had a fantastic match. The fly half, Robson, a very young player, 21 years old, had a bit of game time last season, but this season is really showing what he can do, keeping Gavin Henson out of the team. Bellany scored for Zebra. Kana with a lovely chip over the top and scoring the top corner. We will talk about Kana in a minute. What a diver. We'll talk about that in a minute. But after much pressure in the first half, the Dragons got their second try. Hodri Williams at scrum half, commanding the forwards to leave the ball by the try line of Zebra. He floats a lovely pass out to the corner for Howells to score in the corner there. And the Dragons go in at 13 points to 5 at half time. And in the second half, there's only one penalty converted, which it makes it 16 to 5. But the big talking point of the match has got to be the incident with Brandon Neeson on Canna. Canna clips the ball over the top, little chip, trying to be cocky, trying to be clever, and Brandon Neeson runs through and catches him on the shoulder. There is no doubt that it's late. No doubt at all it's late. No doubt at all that he probably shouldn't have done it. 100% agree with the original decision that it was a penalty. But the referee, she decides that they should go to the TMO to get it checked, and a yellow card is shown for this. Now this week, if you've been listening to any of the rugby podcasts or anything like that, they've been talking about the game going soft. And this is a huge example of it, of the game going soft. There is no way that this is a yellow card, in my opinion. Absolutely no way. It's late, it's 3 seconds late, but it's not vicious, it's not ridiculously hard, and Canna drops like a sack of potatoes. This is rugby, it's not football. He hits the deck like he's been shot by a sniper. It's ridiculous, and holding his face when he's clearly been hit in the shoulder. A penalty it should have been. But my gosh, the ref gave in to the pressure of the TMO of seeing it again. She didn't need to go and check it again. Otherwise, she had a fantastic match, but this small decision was a really bad mistake. But fortunately, it didn't affect the Dragons too much, and Neeson came back on, and he was okay. What about Zebra? Well, what let them down was their ill discipline. 9 penalties given against them for silly little things, and the conditions didn't help the style of rugby. It was very wet and windy, so passing the ball free-flowing rugby was not really going to happen that much. But a really good victory for the Dragons. Last week, I criticised them, questioned their existence almost. But this week they've proved me wrong, which I'm really happy about. We're now going to hear from Bernard Jackman. Let's see what he's got to say about the results of this game.
What's the primary emotion? Relief?
Yeah, just relief. I think obviously we're frustrated we didn't play as well as we want, but the conditions were very difficult out there. There wasn't much rain, but the ball was very slippy, and you saw how hard it was for kickers to convert chances into points. So I thought we showed some good maturity. It was no flash or exciting attack, but we just played the game in the right area at important times, and we're happy just to get a second win this season.
You did score 2 neat tries, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I think they blitzed the fence, and in the wind, in the rain, it's obviously hard to get around that. But I thought, the second try we got. Our first try was a really good play at the back from Howard Robson. He's a really talented player, young player, got some game time last year, and very exciting player that we want to work with. Hopefully he comes through to be a proper regional player for us. And then the second one was just, obviously we tried to ground and pound, and we had an advantage, and I thought Roger Williams showed really good awareness to get a pass out to Daft Howard. So, we're content, but it's just a building block for what we obviously have to do.
Yeah, Bernard, so you've got 2 more games left from this first block of Pro 14 matches. Do you have a target of where you want to be at the end of it?
Yeah, I think internally we had a target, but we messed up round 1, obviously against Treviso. We didn't perform, and I think what people have to realise is there's no easy games now. You saw Glasgow losing to the Kings. We had a tough battle with the Kings. Treviso, Zebra are very, very competitive now. So any win you get is to be cherished, and particularly this new group, because there's so many new players. We're just trying to gel and build some confidence. The Dragons haven't been great for the last couple of years, so any win we get, we're going to enjoy it and look to come back in Monday.
So the Ospreys got back to winning ways this weekend, winning 27-10 at the Liberty against Benetton Treviso. Last weekend, of course, they lost against Munster by putting a really young and inexperienced team out. But this week it was back to normal and some great tries, but some controversial decisions as well. Sam Davis got man of the match, kicking it quite a few points, over 17 points in total, including a try for himself. Will he be in the Wales squad? Let me know in the comments below. Would you like to see him there? Joe Thomas sets up Dan Evans for the first try expertly. Tipper got a try as well, but a big talking point where the fullback for Treviso, Lucas Sperandino, got sin binned for a high tackle. Not much complaints about that, to be honest. Then further tries from Sam Davies and a penalty as well got the Ospreys to where they needed it to be. But my question has to be, last week, why do we play such a young and inexperienced side, get hammered by Munster, know that Treviso is not going to be as big a challenge as Munster was, and put out our best side? Wouldn't it have been better to flip them over? I can't understand what the manager is thinking there. I'm an Ospreys fan and I'm venting my anger as such. But it's frustrating. And in games where we are going to beat Benetton, and we should, Benetton and Zebra I think have improved this season, but if we want to be pushing for those playoff places, which we should be getting, and if we want to be higher up the table, we've got to be playing against Munster and putting in performances. We cannot be getting smashed every time like that. Putting out a young side and an inexperienced side, yes, it's good to give them a chance. Yes, it's good to blood them in, but not in such a game as that. It was not the right game to do it. But all our big hitters were back. Only, I think, 3 remained from the starting 15 that played last weekend. But you have to question, why did he do it? I'm still trying to work it out. If you know, let me know in the comments down below. So there you go, that's the end of the Welsh Rugby Show for this week. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have, subscribe, like, and get involved in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about the Scarlets, the Ospreys, Dragons and Blues as well. Let me know in the comments below. Do check out my matchday vlog of Abergele against Colwyn Bay, seeing 2 local sides. And also check out the small documentary I made on the Celtic Warriors. Remember them? Check that out. Both will be linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on Biss Rugby.